Hello, it's me, I'm Nafith. In this video, I would like to talk about the root certificate authority, i.e. creation of the root certificate authority. Now, the first thing I would like to show you how to create an enterprise root CA. After that, we will show you how to make a machine trust that root CA. So any certificate issued by that root CA will be trusted. Also, then we will show you how we will use as an example ClearPass, how to generate a certificate signing request and then install it, i.e. sign it by the root CA and then install it on the ClearPass itself. And then we'll show you how once you install the ClearPass certificate that there are no issues between the browser on the machine and the actual connection to the ClearPass certificate because it's signed by a trusted root CA. Let's have a look. You're on the server manager and you're going to add a role in here. You go to the manage and add a role and features. Now you go next. So this is on this server basically, and then we would like to select the option that we would like to install the certificate authority. You go next and the server is dc1.class.lab, as you can see, with that IP address. And then we go next. You select the Active Directory certificate service, and then you go next. That will give you the options within that. You go next again, and then next again. You are done with this part, and then you select the web enrollment service as well. Now you start the installation process after you have selected the services, after which you are going to manage these post authentication or post installation. So you go to manage, click on the exclamation mark and click configure the services that you have just recently installed, which is to do with the certificate authority service. You accept the credentials. So the certificate authority is the one that you would like to select, as well as the certificate web authority web enrollment. You go next, and that will take you to the next page. It's an enterprise, we're going to do that, and it is a root CA. We're going to create a new private key in this case to make it simple, and we'll go with the key length is up to you, but we have selected 4096, and we go next. And this is the common certificate, the common name. So details, you can change it. This is the certificate validity 5 years, and this is the database location. We can leave everything as default, and we click on configure. Now we've done the configuration successfully. We are in a position now to find out how the certificate works. Remember, the server should have an entry in the DNS, so the entry would have been dc1.class.lab. Now this is the certificate authority details here. Certificate authority, we just make sure that we can ping dc1.class.lab, which is the fully qualified domain name for the certificate authority, and it happens to be a domain controller. It doesn't have to be, but it is a domain controller. Now this will show us that if we go to the IP address of the server, that will take us to IIS, and this means this page works, and the certificate authority basically is where we would like to go now. We go /cert srv, that will take us to the certificate authority page, or the certificate server page. We need to log in, whatever login you have. So in here we have used the default administrator username and the password, whatever your password you have selected. Now that will take you to this page. In here we can request. Here we can see that we are able to download the certificate authority. Remember, now what we need to do for this certificate authority to be trusted is to install the certificate authority certificate in the trusted root of the machine that is going to use any device that is signed by that. So we're going to download CA, and we will go for the download certificate authority. You click on this link, and that should download the certificate authority base 64. We will then take that, the certificate authority for the CA certificate. We will fire up MMC, which is management console. Then based on that, we will add the certificate into the trusted root, so MMC. And when you fire up the MMC, you will download, or you will add the certificates in this case. So that's the MMC interface. And go File, Add and Remove Snap In. Click on Certificate. You can select the My User certificate. Normally we will have the machine as well as the user, so in this case computer account. So this means we are installing the root CA into this specific device. So any machine that is, or any device that is signed by that, will be trusted. So we go to Trusted Root Certificates, and we can then import that certificate we just downloaded. So we are importing the CA for the certificate authority, the certificate for the CA that we have just created, the one we just downloaded, which is the root CA. And we would like to download this one in the current user. So whenever a user needs to authenticate, then that will be used, or will be consulted if you like. And we do that the same on the local computer. In the certificates, again, we right click, all tasks, we import, and we're going to import that root CA we downloaded, and it is in the download folder. So this means what we have done now, we are trusting that certificate authority local. It's not a public CA. We are trusting that local CA. So any device that is being signed by that local CA will be trusted by the window machine, or by the machine that you are going to run that. Right. Now what we're going to show you is an example. Here are details of that certificate. So we did install the certificate for the certificate authority in the trusted root. And if you see, notice that this is an example of the local computer. That's the issued to class.c1 dc1/ca issued by. So this is basically self-signed certificate for the certificate authority. We are telling the machine trust that, and it looks like certificate is okay. It means any certificate issued by that will be always trusted. So we're going to take ClearPass as an example now. What we're going to do, we will log into ClearPass cppm1.class.lab, and needless to mention that cppm1.class.lab has entry in the DNS. This is a self-signed certificate by ClearPass, which obviously not trusted by the machine, because the ClearPass itself as a CA will not be trusted. So these products come with their own self-signed certificate. They always do this. This is to facilitate the login, basically. Now we can see, we go to administration, and we will go to certificate area. We need to look at the certificate store where ClearPass signs its own certificate. Now what we need to do is to generate a certificate sign request, and the purpose of that is to connect with the certificate that is trusted, so HTTPS. So we will provide all details for this specific certificate. Provide the DNS for the SAN, so subject alternative name, and that should be the fully qualified domain name for that specific server. So here the common name is the name of the server, and then the subject alternative name will be cppm1.class.lab, and we'll provide the password for that private key. And then after this, we will submit. That will generate what's so called certificate sign request. We're going to copy the content of that certificate sign request, submitted to the certificate authority, generate a certificate that will be used to onto this machine. So request certificate, and then advanced certificate request, paste it here, and the certificate template we're going to use in this case web server, because that will be HTTPS one, and we're going to submit that one. Once you submit, that will generate the certificate itself for the ClearPass. We download the certificate in this case, and we're going to use it. Once you download it, it's a good idea to rename it. I renamed it as cppm1-cert, whatever name you'd like to select. Now you take that certificate, you go to ClearPass, and you go to the, of course, you have to make sure that you have added your certificate authority into the trusted root. So what we need to do is to download the downloaded certificate authority certificate. We give it a new name, so that new name should be in reflecting it is for the CA. So we renamed that one as well, so that the top one is the root CA, the bottom one is the actual ClearPass generated by that root CA. In the trusted list on ClearPass, we will add the certificate into the trusted root, i.e. the trusted list of that ClearPass. ClearPass otherwise will reject that certificate. So this one now is the certificate authority should be trusted by the ClearPass. We can select the type or the usage, anything else, but we have selected others because our intention is just to use it for web interface for the ClearPass itself. Now, once we add that certificate and the trusted list of ClearPass should accept the generated one by that root CA. Once we do this, then we should be able to add that certificate to the ClearPass itself. Now it's we can see it's number 17. Like we can see that has been installed right now and it is enabled. You can look, it is enabled and it is ready to be used. Now we start the process of importing that certificate that was generated, and it is service certificate. The usage for that one will be HTTPS RSA, and then once you do that certificate RSA, you would like to import the certificate you generated. Choose the file, and it is one file that contains both the private key and the certificate itself, and you import that. Once you import it, it should be part of that. Now if you refresh or you log out, you should be able, once you log in again, you should be able to see it correctly installed. And look at the details now. You can see these are details that we have provided when we created certificate sign request. And now we log out, log in again. If you log in again, you will find the certificate, or the browser is not complaining about the certificate. You can clearly see now this is a valid certificate that the browser for this machine trusts. And as we said before, the reason we trust because the machine trusts the CA that has generated this certificate. This was the RSA. Now on the same basis, we can also generate a certificate for the ECC or any other type of certificate usage, basically for that specific server. Now we go and we have a look at what we have, and we would like to generate another certificate sign request to generate again HTTPS certificate. It's the same process, simply speaking, but the usage will be for the ECC. We're going to see now. You go to administration, certificate store, generate a certificate sign request for the purpose of this is radius, so this this is still a self-signed certificate which we have not generated certificate for. We select the private key type, different NIST 6G, and then again we provide all details that are needed to generate another certificate sign request. And again, remember, many browsers now they use the enhanced form of the HTTPS, and we would like to use that one here. So we will provide DNS with the fully qualified domain name cppm1 class.lab. Now this SAN can have multiple servers listed, so you can use the same certificate request for multiple servers if you are in a cluster or an environment where there's a cluster. We copy this one and we're going to repeat the same process to generate certificate from the certificate sign request from the CA. So we log into our CA and HTTPS dc1.class.lab /cert srv, and that's certificate server. We will submit the same request to a certificate server, so we can generate a certificate sign request, generate the certificate that we request for that purpose. We sign in now, again request another certificate, advance, right click paste, and it is web server in this case, and you just submit. Once you submit, you find the certificate listed. You can download that certificate, and we will rename that certificate at least as a base 64. We will rename that certificate for that purpose. Now, we will talk in a different video about certificate chain, but we will only need to just look into the certificate. Here we are going to rename that certificate to a meaningful name. So basically, I would like to rename this one to indicate the usage for that specific certificate. So we're going to say CPPM1. Again, any name will do. The name is immaterial, but it is just to give you an indication what you're trying or to intend to use that certificate for. Now we go here, we will import certificate that we have just generated. Is a server type, and it is HTTPS ECC. You select the file, single file, in this case in download, and this is the one that we have just downloaded at the top. And we're going to use this one again for the ECC type of communication, and that's these are details that we are. So we log out and log in again, and the ECC. If a browser using ECC form, then that will be the one that will be used. Look at this now. We have all the correct details. We have enabled. Previously, I have disabled ECC, and the reason I've done that because the certificate request was for RSA, which is the older implementation of the HTTPS certificate. Now we can clearly see the certificate has been trusted. The browser doesn't complain, and you can clearly see that the certificate trusted due to the fact that we installed the trust into the trusted root. Here we can see certificate store, and the that's a self-signed certificate by the ClearPass, but we have installed ECC certificate HTTPS, and we also installed the RSA certificate. We can clearly see these are details that we have provided when we created the certificate sign request. You can view details, obviously. So each certificate has its own details, fingerprint, serial number, and so on and so forth, subject name and subject alternative name, and some other details that make sure the certificate is not being tampered with.